meeting has been a very important meeting of ministers of foreign affairs, being part of the preparatory steps toward the summit that will be held in Kazan in Russia at the end of this year. The meeting also, I think, was for us as South Africa, a very good continuum from the 15th summit that South Africa hosted as chair in 2023. In that, in this meeting, we had for the first time the expanded membership present following the agreement on expansion in South Africa's summit last year. So those members that were admitted as full members were present in the meeting here in Russia, in Nizhny, and we're very thrilled that we're now seeing the expanded BRICS come into practical action. Well, I think the deliberations were very, very positive and were robust as well. There are differences on some key issues for South Africa. For example, the present in the expanded membership are countries that don't necessarily support some of the aspirations we have. For example, the issue of Western Sahara came up as a significant debate with one of the countries proposing exclusion of reference to Western Sahara. And we were rather concerned at that attitude. But I think we'll continue to engage and hopefully we'll arrive at an understanding that for South Africa, the fight against colonialism and occupation is an important one which we must continue to uphold. But what was clear was that we shouldn't have an assumption that because there's an interest in BRICS, we all come into BRICS with the same foreign policy approaches. We have to get to know the new members. I think it's important that they understand that BRICS is a forum largely focused upon the interests and concerns of countries of the South, and that it operates on the basis of consensus and not an idea held by one country, that you have to elaborate, debate, share perspectives and understand that we may have different approaches, but we're a forum which seeks to advance a common progressive global agenda. And I think now that we've reached the end of the foreign ministers' meeting, there is a sense that in the main, with the whole slew of ideas that exist in the global community, on the majority there is shared perspective, and I'm very happy at that. On others, we'll continue to engage because this is part of the life of geopolitics. And I think the divergences are not of such a nature that they make it impossible for us to relate to those who have become new members of BRICS.
You have had some number of bilateral meetings with a number of countries, and some of the meetings are still ongoing. Are you engaged also on the question of what's going to happen, that the African National Congress at home didn't get the majority in Parliament to say, so what is going to happen in terms of forming government? Also, they change maybe in foreign policy as far as South Africa is concerned, and some of the issues there. Are those issues coming up in your bilateral meetings? And maybe you can take us through some of the key bilateral meetings that you have heard.
Well, what was very interesting was that all the partners that we met congratulated the African National Congress on achieving the largest number of support through voting of any party in South Africa, and thus it remains the largest party, and this is what all our partners would expect. Many of them do not normally get the large proportions that we are used to, so I didn't get a sense of horror on their part. Rather, they were satisfied that the ANC remains the largest party and also supported the steps being taken by President Ramaphosa as leader of the largest party to set in place a government of national unity or an agreement on a coalition. All of them are used to such endeavors in their own political systems, and so they wish South Africa well and really seek continued progress in sustaining our democracy and in pursuing our development agenda as South Africa.